This is the 52 Weeks to Wealth Principle 41 and 42 today. If you've been hanging out with us for the last 4 years, then you understand what the wealth principles are all about. We're here to double our income and double our net worth. Show of hands if you're still committed to the cause. Doubling your income, doubling your net worth. Absolutely. Why do we do it? We do it because money is important. Show of hands if you've had experiences where you realized money was really important to you specifically. Excellent. So it's also important for other people. And so these 52 Weeks to Wealth, this Alchemist Nation is designed to help others serve at a rate that allows them to make more money. Who has been told you've got to add value in order to make money? Has anybody heard that before? Add value, give to others. It's better to give than to receive. Well, I also agree. It's also great to receive. And I believe that you should be able to receive and give in the same transaction. Show of hands if you're okay with also receiving. Absolutely. We know we've got to give. We're really great givers. And today's principles are going to help us be able to give at a higher level and also set up a function for receiving. Set it up so we don't have to think about it. Who here is tired of asking when they could just be saying yes to somebody else asking? Who'd like other people asking them? Excellent. So today's principle, we're going to walk through how to get others to say, how do I pay you? What can I pay you? And why have you not yet offered me the opportunity to give you money? So wealth principle 41, if you haven't already gone and looked at the wealth principles, let me show you where to find them. You go to alchemistnation.com. And if you can see it on my screen, put your thumbs to the camera. See alchemistnation.com. There we go. So when you hit alchemistnation.com, there's two things. One, you can scroll down to the map, which you should check out, because officially we have 264 live events happening every single month. So there are live networks, live communities in your city close to you. Scroll back up. You can go to learn more, join a community. And to find out this wealth principle and all the other wealth principles, you can simply scroll down to where it says 52 Weeks to Wealth. A little to the right here. And well, there it is. Right here, Millionaire Wealth Principles. Scroll down. We are on 41, which is create an environment that will force you to grow. Not a negative environment, an environment that will force you to grow. Who here is committed to growing their net worth and growing their income? So how about an environment that forces that? And then the second wealth principle we will do today, this is the last time I'm doubling wealth principles this year, is give the impression of increase and advancement. We're going to back these up because both principles tie in really well together. In fact, the first leads into the second, and the second, well, it kind of recycles into the first. So if you can see my screen again, give me actually, before I talk about environment, who here has been inside of an environment before? Has anybody been inside of an environment? Excellent. We're in one right now, aren't we? We're in multiple environments. If you look at your physical room, look around the room, or your car if you're driving, you're in a physical environment. Then if you look straight forward to the camera, if you're driving, please just look at the road. Don't worry about this. But if you're not driving, you can look at this camera and see that you are in a virtual environment. These are two separate environments that you're in. Normally, when we go through our lives, there's a really weird environment that's about 2 inches wide, 5 inches tall. Who here has a cell phone? Show of hands if you got one of these. This is also an environment. In fact, Facebook has identified that you spend about 3 hours a day in their environment. And this front of your screen, the opening screen, what you first see there, that's an environment as well. Show of hands if you could have something very empowering on your front screen that could empower you to move forward through your day, with energy. A lot of people put their spouse on there so they don't get in trouble. That's a good idea. Some people put motivational quotes on there. Some people will put the things that they want, their desires, their vision board will be right there on the front screen. Those are smart ideas. That's your environment. That's a form of environment. There are also negative environments. And in order to protect ourselves from negative environments, we must know how to identify them. And if we can't identify them, then it's possible we could end up in places that are dangerous for our mindset and dangerous for our quality of lives. Show of hands if you've ever been in the wrong environment and realized it immediately. Who here has been in the wrong environment and realized it slowly? Like it just wasn't obvious right away. Excellent. Wouldn't it be nice if you could avoid negative environments entirely? Wouldn't that be something that would change your life if you could just always put yourself into a positive environment, a state that is always moving you forward? So today's wealth principle, the first one is Millionaire Wealth Principle 41, create an environment that will force you to grow. In order to force ourselves to grow, we should know where to avoid. And these are 7 bad environments for growth and development. First is negative social circles. This would be the group of friends or a group of people or a place a bar, a restaurant. It could be a club or a fitness facility that is just negative, something that isn't working for you. Avoid those. Second, toxic workplaces. Sometimes your job, yes, the thing you need to make money, is not safe. Sometimes the job that you work is full of negative people, or it is a negative industry in the first place. And I'll use a good friend of mine as an example. Mike Shine is an attorney. And there was a point where he was a litigation attorney and he hated it. He hated the idea of fighting in court over things. So he shifted, took his same license and moved into real estate practice. So now all he does is help people buy or sell real estate. And so the closings are much more fun. Show of hands if you understand, he changed his workplace because it was a negative environment for him. Third, comfort zones. Everybody knows the comfort zone is deadly. It's where you stay exactly the same. Some of your comfort zones are actually negative places. Some of them are, who here has habitually in the past felt pretty miserable about themselves or their existence or other people or a situation they were in and done it repetitively over and over? That's actually a comfort zone. There's an emotional comfort zones where we need that kind of stress in our lives. And it's important to shift those to more empowering places. 4, lack of learning. If you're in a place that says, don't try new things, don't learn new things, stick to the same old stuff you've already done. Sometimes family, sometimes friends, sometimes colleagues are saying, no, don't change. That's a new idea. Newfangled stuff doesn't work. That can be a bad environment. Constant stress without effective coping. Not allowing yourself the processes to handle stress effectively, to just deal with stress. Who here has ever dealt with stress before? Just, I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with stress. I'm putting up with it. I'm getting through this. That constant stress that is occurring, if it happens every single day, there could be a lack of coping involved. And that could be a dangerous environment for you in the long term. 6, lack of social interaction. An environment that forces you to be isolated is a very, very dangerous environment because we as human beings require socializing in order to live a long time. In fact, the people who make it to 100 have always consistently been a part of some sort of community or community work or some sort of social circle. They were involved and they were necessary. Even if it was as small as they were the lady who baked the cookies for church, that kept them alive, kept them involved. Show of hands if we understand. We never isolate ourselves. It's absolutely dangerous. Now, there are times where some isolation is necessary. That's healthy. Just don't do it for long, dangerous periods of time. Show of hands, we understand what I'm talking about. Balance is, it's all relative. You do sometimes need to isolate yourself to get away from some of these other negative environments. And I didn't include the 7th one because I wasn't sure if it'd be relevant to you, but a 7th one would be a group of people who hate real estate investing and hate talking about money. That would be the most dangerous environment on the planet if you're looking to double your income and double your net worth. So if you know environments like that, you stay away from them. If you go into those spaces and they're like, money's evil, money's for the devil, or money makes you a bad person, or you shouldn't talk so much about money, just put a force field around yourself when walking through those places. And if they happen to involve family, then smile politely and use my favorite sentence. Thank you for sharing. This sentence has gotten me through so many scenarios, so many situations where I can just easily move through and not let it land on me. Show of hands if you can use this sentence as well. Yes, go out there. You're now armed. So now that we know the 7 negatives of things to avoid, let's dive into the things that we can do, things that make sense for us to leverage. The characteristics that we know make a great environment. Now, I'm not going to specifically state that Alchemist Station is the greatest environment on the planet. So what I will say is here are characteristics of a great environment. Show of hands if you're ready for this. Man, I have so much fun with this. All right. So number 1, a place where others are ahead of you. You need people to be ahead so that you can travel forward. If you are the greatest person in the room, well, you're in a room that will not grow you. You're going to end up in a comfort zone, which you just identified as bad. If you are mid-level with everybody, it's like everybody's just at the same level. You're going to have a hard time figuring out how to get forward, and you're going to have a hard time wanting to leave the group that you're in. So it's important that any group you're a part of has people ahead of you. Show of hands, we understand. We need some people ahead of us. Absolutely necessary. Number 2, a place where you continually are challenged. A place where you're continually challenged. A lot of people will stray away from challenge because it isn't comfortable. But the people who move forward in life and have really active, positive, powerful businesses, careers, and investments, empires, they're constantly challenging themselves. whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, or financially. They're putting themselves into situations that make them think harder, outwork the system. Show of hands if you understand. You can change your environment to challenge you a little bit more. Number 3, a place where your focus is totally forward. An environment where you have no distractions on the sides and everything leads towards your one thing. If that's investing in real estate, if that's growing your business, if that's your financial health, if that one thing is where you're focusing and leading towards, that's a powerful environment. Environments that cause distraction can be environments that bring you down, slow you down. Show of hands if you've been a part of those before. Too many ideas, too many different things. We should try this. We should try this. We should try this. We should try this. The word "we should try" means we're not going to do anything. We're just in testing mode. We need to be in action mode as often as possible. Number 4, a place where the atmosphere is affirming. Sometimes it's nice just to be told that what you're doing is the right thing. Sometimes it's nice to be heard. Sometimes it's nice to be affirmed when the whole world around you, by the way, the broke people, not everybody's broke, but let's just say the world around you of negative or broke people are saying you shouldn't buy real estate, or you shouldn't start a business, or you shouldn't hire salespeople. When they're saying that, when we're not saying you can't trust somebody to do that work, it's probably a good idea to go to some place where somebody's already done it ahead of you and is affirming that it makes sense to do. Show of hands if you felt that before. Getting affirmations from somebody who's been there already really helps. And by the way, when I say this one, I'm not talking about fake. Like I'm not talking about like fake affirmations. I'm saying somebody who's actually giving you a real affirmation. Show of hands if you can tell the difference when it's real and when it's fake. Very good. Yeah, fake stuff doesn't count. So don't give fake ones. Be honest, be genuine. A place where you wake up excited. And an environment that gets you up excited is an environment that you want to do more of, because that energy is going to allow you to make good decisions throughout your day. Anytime that you're feeling a high level of energy, you're going to be in a better state of mind. Show of hands if you've made good decisions when you were fully aware, clear, you had clarity of mind, clarity of intention, you knew where you were going. Who here's made bad decisions when you were intoxicated, or it was late, you were tired, or physically you were fatigued, or just had bad information? Absolutely. So you want a place where you wake up excited to be alive, excited to be interacting with what you're doing. And I just got to caveat that before we move forward. I like excitement in your day. I do not like excitement in your investments. You should never be excited about an investment. Investments should be something you understand so thoroughly that they're boring. You just do them because they make sense. Show of hands if that makes sense. Investing should always be boring to you. If you are ever excited in an investment, stop it. Reach out to a coach, reach out to a mentor, reach out to another investor and validate that this thing makes sense. You do not belong getting excited about investments. You belong making logical decisions that make logical, correct money. True or true? We agree. We don't get excited or emotional about investments. Okay, I just want to make sure. Just excited in your day, not excited in your investments. Environments that another positive environment is a place where failure isn't your enemy, where it's okay to fail, where if you fail, we acknowledge that it's a lesson, an opportunity, a new challenge has been presented in front of you, and now you have an opportunity to get to that next level and grow yourself. Number 7, a place where others are growing as well, not just ahead of you, but a place where people are growing as well. Even if they're behind you or at your level, it's good because they're growing. The growth mindset is infectious. Who here has seen that before? Already noticed that growth is an infectious state. So one of the beautiful things that we've done in Alchemist Nation is we've polled a lot of people. Over the last few years, I've interviewed 150 syndicators, 50 syndicators, 150 people on the Alchemist Nation podcast. And I've polled them and I found out what was right, what didn't work, what did work, what they thought was powerful, what they thought was ineffective. I've been to dozens of other people's 3-day seminars. Show of hands, have been 3-day seminars, 3-day trainings, 4-day trainings, 5-day trainings, 7-day trainings. Yes, we've been through the trainings, right? I spent over $150,000 on coaching, on coaches, mentors, guides, people who helped me move towards where I am today. And after all of this, I've come to this one conclusion. It really does depend on the person. I've sat in rooms where me and 400 other people were in there, and you know me, I'm an ultra networker. I get everybody's contact information. I'm following up. I'm checking in on them. And years later, only a handful of us have actually done anything with the knowledge that we took. And very, very few of us have really gotten to this level of exceptional wealth in short periods of time. Because remember, I'm 37. I look at the guy who's 40 or 50, who's ahead of me with more wealth, and I'm like, damn, like that's impressive. I'm too slow. And I also look at the 21-year-old kid who's a billionaire, whatever the Kardashian, and it's like, damn, like, okay, maybe I really am too slow. But then I look at the people who are in the room with me, and I've surpassed 95%, 99% of the people who are in the room with me, in the room that I learned the things that I do today: real estate investing, sales, speaking on stage, marketing, how to speak, how to train, how to teach. Every skill that I ever learned from a large room, there were hundreds of other people in that room with me. Show of hands if you've been in these rooms and watched these other people kind of just disappear. Like they just weren't serious. And the thing that I found in these environments is that the difference is the person you believe you are. If you believe you are the person who takes everything, who gets everything, I've been in those trainings, right? The ones that suck, the ones that the speaker's like boring or doesn't know what they're doing, or they're awkward. They this, they that, they like every word is like and it's like, shit, this is the worst training I've ever been. I can't stand listening to this guy, but I still get something. I still get something out of it because that's who I am. Show of hands if you're one of those people who still gets something no matter what room you're in. That makes a difference. It makes a very big difference, because the knowledge is not what changes you. It's your understanding of the knowledge. It's not the environment itself that changes you. It's your perception of the environment that you're in. When I'm in an environment of negative people, I'm constantly thinking, this is my mind, and I'll share this with you. Oh my God, I am better than every person in this room. When I'm in a negative environment, everything they say that is negative, I'm like, oh my God, they just told me exactly how to never be them. This is perfect. I'm learning how to move myself forward. I'm learning how to expand and help more people. And when I'm in a room full of people who are like, I don't need to learn how to make wealth, I'm like, cool. Now I know exactly who not to waste my time with in the future. I know this is the sort of exact room I could just avoid going forward. I could just find a room that's saying, yes, let's make more money. Let's help more people. Let's buy more real estate. Let's build our businesses so we can maximize. Show of hands if you understand your environment is powerful, but you decide what it looks like. You can be in a very negative environment that you can't change right now. That's okay. You change how you feel about it until you have the power to shift and really create environments that are really empowering to you. The second principle, wealth principle 42, is the power of advancement. Be the advancing person. Leverage yourself in a way that always lets people know that you're in the path of advancement, that you're moving forward. And the reason this is important, show of hands if you're a capital raiser, by the way. If you're a capital raiser, this is really important. Show of hands if you're a real estate investor and you use OPM, other people's money. Excellent, excellent. Show of hands if you're a business owner and you sell valuable products and services to other human beings. Excellent. Business, real estate professionals who sell and serve others. It's important to give the impression of advancement and increase, because if you do, then a person will want to work with you because they want to be advanced. Every human being on the planet wants advancement for themselves. Who here's noticed that people seem a little bit selfish sometimes? Notice selfish people, right? Everybody seems to be like so selfish. Yeah. And they're always out for themselves, aren't they? They're looking for some level of advancement. So when somebody like you comes along and says, I've got the thing you're looking for, people tend to latch on. Many of you are hiding your secrets. Many of you are hiding how much you're moving forward. Many of you are hiding the fact that you're actually doing big things. Many of you run local events. You run events like Alchemist Nation's Business Real Estate Professional. Show of hands if you're a community leader running events. This is giving. This is literally giving the opportunity for somebody to learn, to connect, to have access to capital, to have access to deals, to have access to knowledge. And if we don't go out and tell people we're advancing others, then we're letting people down, and we're not letting people know about advancement. Who here is a great coach? Coaches, speakers, authors, it's the same for you. In fact, I'd say even more for you, because your job is to teach, coach, train, speak on stage to let others know about advancement. You are an advancing man and woman, and your job is to let others know that advancement is even possible for them. And a lot of times we keep these things to ourselves. Now, you can imply advancement in a couple of different ways. And one of those is to just look forward in a conversation and speak about your goal. Speak about your big goal. Who here has a big goal, by the way? Who here has a big, ambitious, crazy, ridiculous goal? Who here has a goal so big it would definitely scare other people when you tell them? A couple of you. That goal I want you to write down right now. We're going to do this exercise very quickly. And I'm going to ask Doug in like literally 30 seconds to come in and dial us in on this exercise. Doug, I want them to visualize advancement for themselves. This concept of telling other people your big, crazy, hairy goal will bring and attract them to you, to pay you, to work with you, and to support you. For example, I said I want to put 300 events across this country of Alchemist Nation. I want volunteers, I want leaders, I want sponsors. We're going to do 300 events to create alchemy, to help others build wealth. And right now we have 264 events. If you go to the map on Alchemist Nation, you see 264 events. Let's give, by the way, my technology team a big round of applause for getting the map fixed. Let's give them a huge round of applause. It was not as easy as you think to get this map, one, created, and then two, to get it functional. When you click on a cluster, you'll see you can click deeper into the area. If you click on the event, it actually pulls up the local event and you can see who the host is, where it is, what they're operating. Show of hands if this is some serious technology. It's very, very cool, but it has a flaw. Well, my whole system has one flaw. We don't have enough volunteers right now for 264 events. So right now there are 224 events that happen without a host, without a volunteer, without somebody to say, hey, by the way, I believe in your dreams. I believe in what you're doing. I believe in the possibility, and let me give you some free courses. Let me connect you with some free access. Let me give you some free information. Show of hands if you understand it's a disservice on my part to not have those hosts and volunteers. So right now I'm letting you know I'm looking for hosts and volunteers. We are advancing and we are getting to the summit this year. We're actually 69 days away from the 100 Millionaire Summit in Orlando. If you're going, give yourselves a big round of applause. If you already know, the tickets are already bought. You're already on your way. The hotel's been booked. Great job. Excellent. I can't wait to see you in person. We're putting 300 events across this country. 40 already have hosts and community leaders. Let's give our community leaders a big round of applause. Our hosts, our community leaders, the people who are running these events. Amazing. Even if your event is not called Business and Real Estate Professionals Network, if it's not called Alchemist Nation, I don't care. If you're a community leader and you're running events, you are doing the same mission as us. So let's give everybody who's running an event across the country a big round of applause. It's the same exact thing. Investor schooling. I see Larry's here. I see Brian Mazzilli's here. So we're doing what we do as alchemists. We're advancing. Here's another thing you can do. Small scale, smaller, is let a person know what your goal is and then how you help others. Let them know who you're looking to help. Let them know that you are building an empire for yourself, a business for yourself. Let them know that you're acquiring X amount of real estate. When I first started, I said I wanted 40 units. That's all I wanted. I wanted 40 units, cash flowing properties. And the world started bringing me 40 units. Before I knew it, I had offers, I had opportunities, I had deals. Gary Aker blew my mind like yesterday or the day before. He sent me a text and he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to start asking people for their properties and seller finance if they know 20 units that are available and to do seller financing. And he texted me that and I was like, bro, I got 15 units I would sell right now, seller financing. And opportunity. Let's give him a big round of applause, right? I don't know if we'll agree on the prices or the terms, whatever. That's Ron and Gary will come up with something, but that is how it works. If he hadn't asked, he wouldn't know. Show of hands if we understand. Just tell people what you're doing and then ask if they know somebody who might be interested. The way of advancement and giving the impression of increase is beyond these big deals. It can be something small as giving candy to a little child to make the child feel the advancement of the candy, to let them know that the excitement you feel when you lick this lollipop, right? If you go and lick this lollipop and you feel excitement, you feel happiness, I want you to think about the lifestyle you're going to have in the future where you're super rich and happy and in shape and helping the world. But this candy could be that one every time you have those dopamine hits, or actually Larry owns an ice cream shop, so we'll just go with ice cream. Anytime you taste this ice cream, this could be ice cream that was generated by a millionaire. This is the millionaire ice cream. It's a little different, right? Now, I'm not saying that eating this ice cream from Larry's shop in Pennsylvania will make you a millionaire. What I'm saying is you'll feel the feelings that a millionaire feels when he eats that ice cream. Show of hands if you understand. It's the impression of increase. And you can imply and you can create without giving guarantees. You can give the impression that by hanging with you, by sticking with you, by doing things with you, that the person is also in line of advancement. One of the benefits we give to our community leaders is the ability to bring people to the 100 Millionaire Summit. We say, bring your people. And when they're there, I on stage will make sure they know you are in the way of advancement, that everybody that you brought is now vicariously through you in the way of advancement. You can do this in your business. When somebody does business with you, let them know that they're working with somebody who's going somewhere, who's going to be bringing them along, who wants to bring their people. I've had clients work with me because they knew I was going somewhere. They saw me doing videos on Facebook. They saw me doing videos on YouTube, and they said, man, like, this kid's going somewhere. I'm working with him. Of all the other agents, I'm going to work with that agent because that agent's going somewhere and I want to be a part of it. People will want to be a part of your story. They want to say, I knew them when they first started out. I high-fived them. I had dinner with them. I shook their hand. We did this deal together. We have these stories. Show of hands if you understand. You're going somewhere and people want to be a part of your journey. Give them the impression of increase. Doug, my 30-second count was totally off. Doug, do you mind walking us through a mental exercise to give our team here the impression of increase? To give them the power?
I have a short one. Can you share the? Let me share. Can you make me co-host?
Yes. And in the future, Darina or Ron, do you mind making sure that Doug is always a co-host when he comes in?
So let's give Walter a hand. Come on. How many of y'all got what he was sharing? You're starting to see what's possible, starting to see the importance of you're not only starting, you've been seeing it, and now we're making that image even bigger, even brighter. So we'll just take a walk down a oh wait, hold on. Are you hearing this? All right. Just want to make sure you're getting the full effect. So why don't you go ahead right now?
Just before we start,
unless you're driving. Yes, unless you're driving. If you're driving, keep your eyes on the road and you will get wherever you're going safely. And if you're not, why don't you go ahead and take a nice, big, deep breath in. Close your eyes and roll your eyes up to the back of your head till you feel a little stress. That's right. And relax. And let go. Let go of all of the stress and tension in your body now. As you inhale deeply, draw in the optimism and ambition. And as you exhale, let go of any uncertainties or limitations and feel your body settle into the comfort of your chair, allowing your back to relax. And as you're getting heavier with each exhale, embrace tranquility. That's right. And as you enter your mind's eye, visualize a grand mountain range, majestic peaks reaching towards the heavens. And these mountains have stood the test of time, just as your potential has been patiently waiting for this moment now. And begin to ascend a well-marked trail, metaphorical path to your big, audacious goal. And every step you take takes you higher in elevation and deeper into an extraordinary state of relaxation and focus. That's right. 10, 9, 8, 7. Counting down each step, sinking into a profound tranquility. That's right. 6, 5, halfway there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you've reached the summit, a special plateau in a heightened state of awareness and relaxation. So as you connect even more to your higher power, to God, to your spirit, say these words, these affirmations, aloud or to your face, to yourself. I am on a journey towards my big, audacious goal. I am a trailblazer, crafting an environment of continuous growth. And I wonder if you could ask these questions powerfully. Why is it that every choice I make brings me closer to my big, audacious goal? How do I consistently elevate my environment to mirror my aspirations? Now, imagine your life as a vibrant canvas, every stroke representing different facets: your relationships, your career, your personal development, your real estate, your investments. Now visualize a section on this canvas representing that big, audacious goal. See yourself as a masterful artist, adding bold and confident strokes that bring this goal to life, filling the canvas with a vivid representation of your incredible future. Now, as you stand back, looking at your complete canvas, that sensing of a deep satisfaction, knowing that your big, audacious goal is not just achievable, but inevitable. Now, make your way back down that mountain trail, and with each descending step, you're bringing yourself back to this moment, this waking state. 1, reinvigorated. 2, reconnected. 3, becoming aware of your breath. 4, gaining awareness of your surroundings. 5, feeling the energy in your limbs. 6, ready to conquer the world. And 7, open your eyes. That's right, opening them now, fully awake, fully confident, unstoppable.
Doug, I can't wait for the summit this year for your Dickens process. It's going to be amazing. Let's give Doug McGurk a big round of applause.
Thank you, Thanko.
We've been working with Doug for the last 4 years to build millionaires together. We've built over 24 millionaires in the last 3 years. This year, we're working in the same vein to keep moving you forward and get things a little bit better. If you haven't already figured out or checked it out, the Alchemist Manifesto is at first uncomfortable. These affirmations can be a little uncomfortable for somebody. Show of hands if you've read them before. This is not new to you. You're familiar with them. These were created by Doug. And recently, Stephen Beaver actually told me, he said, man, first time I read those affirmations, they felt a little weird, felt a little uncomfortable. Like I wasn't sure about all of this stuff. But he said, I stuck with it anyway. And he said, today, I can absolutely say that every one of them feels authentic to me. I feel that these are who I am. And it feels empowering reading these affirmations. Show of hands if you've had that experience. A thought that didn't seem real to you, didn't seem possible to you, eventually became a possibility. T. Harv Eker said it in his book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And I love this book because it means so much to me, because it's what transformed my belief system. Is he says, if you want to touch a millionaire, one day you could be able to just touch yourself. And at some point, like when I read that line, I said, man, like that is actually true. I might actually be a millionaire before I'm a millionaire. I might actually have all this worth and wealth and be a great speaker and have helped a lot of people. Just it isn't present me, it's future me. And today, obviously, I'm a multimillionaire, and that comes from all the work that I had done back then. Show of hands if you're doing the work today to get yourself to where you want to be tomorrow. Absolutely. Tomorrow will come no matter what. So why not talk about your future self as if it's in the present, as if you already are that person and the wealth just hasn't come to you yet. It's on its way. There are deals when we lock down deals. I know that deal will add an extra $5 million to my net worth. And I'll start in my head saying, I've got that deal. I've got an extra $5 million of my net worth under contract coming in. And I manifest the closing. And then by manifest, I mean, I show up. I make sure the money shows up, make sure my attorneys get me there on time. Or in some cases, I'm very lucky Mike Shine has a power of attorney with Ron, and I don't have to show up, and the closings happen without me in most cases. So it's been a very good situation. Speaking of Mike Shine, there's 2 books this week that I want to address. And these books, as you know, are part of the wealth principles. Each principle has a book that's associated with it because you deserve more. This 30 minutes of just getting education is nice, but we know the rest of the week, you've still got to deal with you up here. Who here has had a hard time with their own mindset, keeping focused on things? Oh, thank God I'm not the only one. So the books we listen to on audio, because audio is a way to get things into your head faster. It's not quite the Matrix plug-in, now you know Kung Fu, but it's really close. You can plug into the audio and you can start listening to things while you're working, while you're driving, while you're working out, while you're doing mindless activities, cleaning around the house. You can still be taking in information. Sometimes I'll do weed whacking and I'll be listening to a book, and that book levels me up. So these books were very intentional. Each one is chosen because Ron Bowling told me something a while back. And Ron, if you don't know, he's my business partner. We've been working together for 8 years. He said every book has one principle in it. And that's all you're ever looking for when you read that book, is that one principle. And the greatest books, show of hands if you've seen this also, some of the greatest books have one core principle that they wrap themselves around. So we chose those books. And Mike Shine has been the keeper of the books ever since. It was a 2-hour conversation that turned into another 2-hour conversation, trying to attach all the books to the principles that we discovered. And we finally found a pretty good vibe. Mike Shine, the keeper of the books, the holistic attorney, the closer. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you, Walter. Woo! All right. As you texted me this morning, these are 2 of my favorite books. You said that T. Harv's The Secret of the Millionaire Mind was the book that changed your life. Well, this first book, which is Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning, was a total game changer. Thank you, Dorina. Thank you, Walter. I can't find it. It's in the house somewhere. But total game changer for both Brenda and I. I was on a bus heading to a ski day with a bunch of realtors. And I was like, shoot, I don't know anybody here. And I look over, and this person that I sort of knew had this book. And it was Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning. And so right after that, I got this book. And if we're talking about the one principle, as Ron Bowling says, the one principle is get yourself a morning ritual. Get yourself a morning, Routine, thank you. But what's cool about this book is Hal Elrod tells his story, which is a really, really, really inspiring story. And he went through some really tough things, and what saved him was what he calls his life savers. And savers is an acronym for silence, which can be meditation, prayer, or affirmations. Then next was affirmations, then visualizations, then exercise, than reading and then scribing, because writing with a W wouldn't make the acronym SAVERS work. So so we started doing it. I highly recommend you start doing this. These SAVERS saved his life, and I would say that they certainly transformed our life, because we started doing all the things, as Mitch likes to say. We did all the things, and Lifesavers, great book. The Miracle Morning. It'll get you started. I can't recommend this book more highly. It is like start your day, and suddenly for me it was like after 50 years of just sort of being a pinball and being knocked around by whatever email came in or phone call or whatever. I suddenly had a plan. I had a gratitude, affirmations, a goal. So yeah, this is the book that started it all and started our spiritual journey. So I highly recommend Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning. It's just a great book. Yep. Thank you. What about the Yeah.
Show of hands if you've ever read this book. If this is not your first time hearing Miracle Morning, excellent. Show of hands if you've not read the book, but you've heard it before, that you should read the book. All right, get to it. I will say that I'm actually in that group. For the longest time, I was in that group of people who had not read the book. And for the last 2 days, I have woken up at 5:30 and been in the gym by 6 o'clock in the morning. And for the last 2 days, I will say I've been on fire. More deals coming through, my team operating at a higher level, me feeling more focused. And even though I haven't been sleeping much also, let me share. The other day, I went to the beach with Darina and I got bit. I got 58 bug bites all over my body, primarily legs, ankles, knees, sides, arms, pretty bad. And I'm super allergic to bug bites. So I have been super itchy for the last 2 days. It's been like really hard to sleep. And so fortunately, I just got up and went to the gym. and just being active a little bit earlier has allowed me to be more clear when I get into meetings, has allowed me to be more clear when I'm speaking, and just made my morning. I've been writing content again. It's been just absolutely amazing because I have these 2 extra hours I didn't previously have. Show of hands if you're willing to at least wake up a little bit earlier this week. Just give it a try, even if it's 20 minutes earlier. It doesn't have to be like I just jumped 2 hours earlier. It doesn't have to be like that. And I don't know if I'll stick to this, but I'm starting to think I might, because it's really working for me. Now, the other book, this one, also Mike Shine's favorite book. Mike, do you mind doing the book of the week?
Oh my God.
Principle 42.
Oh my God, I love this week. I said it to Brenda when I get up. I said, Walter texted me and said the 2 books, and I'm like so excited because these 2 books are amazing. Personal note, this is the one that started it all for Brenda. Brenda was flying to Iceland, and our daughter Samantha had left this book. She grabbed it and was calling me from Iceland saying, this is the most amazing book and it changed everything. So basically, Jen Sincero, in the first chapter, says she takes one for the team. She did like every self-help guru. She read every book. She went to every seminar. She did everything. And she does an amazing job of encapsulating all the stuff that helped her go from being flat out broke to a 7-figure writer and New York Times bestseller. So I've now met her twice, by the way, and I got to meet her like 3 weeks ago, and she's awesome. And this book, it's funny, when I went to see her, so I've got the second book that she wrote, which is You're a Badass. That's the green book, we call it, and Making Money. It's another great book by Jen. When we went to see her, so she autographed the book. Woohoo! And she's just awesome. And you get so amped up by her writing. So this book, when I went to that seminar to see her give out this book, and she spoke for an hour, it was like me and 300 women. So it's sort of women centric, but as a guy, I gotta say it's super valuable. I guess if you're a single guy, go to one of Jen's conferences and you can meet someone.
Not financial advice, not dating advice, right, Mike?
Not dating advice. But great books. I would come home when I was listening to this one on Audible every day. I would come home and say to Brenda, I'd say, Jen said this, or Jen said that, or Jen said this. It's just, this book is so inspiring. It'll rock your world. It is so good. I'm just picking up these books right now is getting me all amped up. I'm gonna have to listen to it again. So that's what I got. You are a badass. You're all badasses.
Let's give Michael Shine a big round of applause. Again, he's the keeper of the books. The whole books, they mean a lot to us, but they only if you read them. And the more you put these pieces of knowledge into your head, the more impactful it is in your life. Sometimes it'll be boring. You don't want to do the next book. I've been there. Like I read over 50 books. I read over 60 books a year. And some years I don't want to do it. Some weeks I don't want to do it. But I put the book on anyway, and I just I give it a shot. I let the book convince me that it deserves my time. Show of hands if you've done that with a book. Just give the book a chance. If the book isn't selling me well, I skip the first chapter. If the book isn't selling me after the first chapter, I skip straight to the last chapter. And if the book sells me in the last chapter, I'll go back and I'll digest it piece by piece. This came to me from Vinny Chopra the other day, my mentor, the billionaire. He said, he's like, I'll start in the middle sometimes. I'll start at the end. I'll let the book touch me in whatever way my mind wants at that moment. And finally, after years of never admitting that I do this, I feel so good to just admit that sometimes I just read the last chapter. So go ahead, Mike. But any book that I say I've read the whole thing. I want to be very clear.
I had something that I wanted to say, and I didn't want to forget it. But something that is in every one of these books, Miracle Morning, You Are a Badass, and the book that I'm reading right now, which is Rich Roll's Finding Ultra, they all meditate. So there's no accident. And like at least 70 to 80% of the books that we choose, the successful person in that book says they meditate. So if you're not meditating, get started. I'm like one of those guys that quit smoking cigarettes and now has to tell everybody about stopping. I just started meditating like a month ago, and I am so obsessed with it. Just like Walter, everything in my life has changed. New opportunities are coming every day. Opportunities for me, opportunities for partners. It's just awesome. So yeah, meditate. Thank you.
Give Michael Shine a big round of applause. We're going to do some Q&A right now. I know Steven's service is a little bit out. So when we're doing Q&A.
I'm here.
Excellent. Well, so your service is choppy, but Steven is here with us. And when we're doing this Q&A, I want you to think rapid fire. How do I ask a question? Just come up with any question, anything that works for you. It doesn't have to be related to the topics today. It could be real estate investing. It could be real estate acquisition, deals, financing, finding the properties. Mitch Jaworski, I'm going to ask you for a wrap quote for everybody who's in the mastermind. Yes, we were meeting today at 12 o'clock. So mastermind members, get yourself some lunch in between this call and that call. And we'll be banging through the mastermind. It's going to be a very powerful session. Doreena's got a really interesting format that she wants us to address today. So it should be very powerful to mastermind today. First, unmute wins.
I got a question.
I think Corbett has his hand up. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question was in regard to like the growth environment. So when you're going into like these new spaces, what are like some of the beliefs you hold as you're like joining a new group? Because I know for some people you have that level of discomfort. So like, what are some of the beliefs that you hold to like make that effective for you, if that makes sense?
Go ahead, Mike.
I live by the phrase that I learned in BNI, which is it's about farming, not hunting. Okay, I went to a lot of events where I didn't know people, and I would leave saying, oh, I didn't get a lead or a business opportunity. I used to get angry about that. But once I learned the concept that it's really about farming, you should show up and just keep showing up and just keep showing up. That's when people notice you, recognize you, know, like, and trust you. So definitely it's about farming. It's not about hunting. It's not about going one time and getting a deal on day one. That's what I got.
Very true. Mindset.
Something real quick. Yeah, Thurman, think in terms of how can I add value to the group? So you're going in, asking questions and learning about them. What are their needs? What are they looking for? And when you bring value, and I mean, one of the best questions to ask in any new environment, and I did this the other day. I was with two guys, and I sat there, and all I did was just get curious with them until finally they stopped me and like, dude, okay, how can we help you? What do you need? Like, you're just stuck to figure out like who we are, and you know, you're already connecting us with people, and that's great. But stop. What can we do for you? Like, if you give to the point where they're uncomfortable, that they're like, I can't take anymore because now I'm guilty for receiving. Like, I want to. It puts more energy. Yeah, Mark said, be a go-giver. Givers gain. If all we're thinking about is curiosity and how can I add value, it's going to naturally come your way, because we're not, it's you're farming, right? You're there, you're nurturing the relationships, you're planting the seeds, you're doing all that, and then the returns will come naturally.
So good. Let's give Doug McGurk and Michael Shine a big round of applause. Thurbin, very good question. I'll just confirm what they said. Yes. Go in learning the group. Don't go in with the intention of what you're selling. Go in to learn. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Larry.
Just have fun. Go to every group and have fun. If you go in there and you're like, I gotta get something, I didn't get this. If you go to just have fun, even if you learn nothing, you know, whatever it is, just have fun.
So we're clear, Larry's idea of fun is connecting with people, selling people something, and
No, it's not.
having a
Absolutely
conversation
not.
about real estate. Come on.
No, my fun may be having conversations about real estate because it's one of the things I talk about a lot. But it's just having fun. You know, I just want to sit down and have fun with somebody. You know, enjoy the conversation. Don't worry about. Listen, if you're going to shine, you're going to shine. And if you really want to have fun, wear one of these jackets.
100%.
I'll
Here's
see
Larry
you guys.
Steinhaus, a round of applause. If you were wondering what's a good book with a damn good last chapter, it's this one right here, Money Hacks. I did read the last chapter, and it is all about being a legend. You know, he says learn all these things so that you can go out and be a legend. Show fans you're committed to being a legend in your family, your community, maybe in this country. I believe you, and I think that we brought the right people to make sure that happens. Doug will be speaking at the summit. Mike Shine will be speaking at the summit. Larry Steinhaus will be speaking at the summit. Mitch Jorsky will be speaking at this year's summit. Billy Rauter speaking at this year's summit. Who else is on here? I'll obviously be speaking. Gary Aker will be speaking at this year's summit. We've got some powerful speakers. Stephen Beaver will be speaking at this year's summit. We've got some very powerful speakers who are looking to transform your lives because they've transformed theirs. Show fans, if you understand, we've got some legends in this community who really show up. They put the time in. They donate their time. They dedicate to this cause. Has it ever crossed your mind that these guys might have a lot of other things they could do? Who here's thought that? Wow, these millionaires are in here just really paying it forward, really dedicated.
Hey, Walter, I have a question when you get a chance.
Bring it, brother. Absolutely.
It won't be able to be answered in this because these usually questions, but if anybody knows about it, I'll, brainstorm or something. But I hear a lot in a lot of real estate groups and everything is like, if you pay taxes and you do real estate investment, you're doing something wrong.
True.
And real estate investment is rentals long-term, but it's also flips. So my question is, I mean, if anybody wants to, get together or something, but a flip company, I don't know if there's any unique tax strategy for a flip company that is not for an accounting company or a plumbing company or a handyman company or anything. But people make it seem like, oh, if you're in real estate, you shouldn't be paying taxes. Rental real estate is a completely different animal. You have a whole bunch of options and everything. But for flipping, if anybody wants to jump in and give me one, or if they want to get together later, because sometimes I feel like, people ask me, hey, so why am I paying taxes? I'm like,
because you're listening to broke people telling you shouldn't pay taxes. Stop it. All right.
No. That's I'm pretty
strategy.
sure that I'm going to hear that in this group too. By the way, I mean it happens in every single real estate thing, and I wanted to see if anybody that has experience in flipping companies and a real experience, like not 1 or 2 a year, because then they go ahead and they throw it as capital gain type of stuff, which is wrong, but that really do flips. If there's any specific strategy, I mean, let me know.
I'll give you one. So one, flipping is not investing. That is a business. Correct. So when we say investing, we're talking about things that are tax advantage. Flipping real estate is basically being a contractor, being a developer. So it's a job. It's real estate career. Now, as a career, you still have the ability to create expenses and borrow against assets, but it really, when they say in real estate investing, they are talking about the long-term stuff that does create a lot of tax benefits for you. You can, as an employer and as a person running a business, you can hide a lot of your income. You can shove it in different areas, but anything you take in, you're going to pay taxes on unless you borrow it. That is the only rule. The only way to get around it is to borrow the money. But if you take money in and you don't spend it on a business expense or an investment, then you do end up paying taxes. What they call them taxable events. So with a flipping business, you're not investing. You're buying assets, increasing their value through construction or repositioning, and then selling it. And because you do it in a short period of time, it ends up not being an investment. The strategy, so Ron and I flip about 10 houses a year, but we do it with a purchase that was made 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and we hold the inventory for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then we sell old inventory and we buy new inventory. So even though we run a flipping company, it's always things that are capital gains because we held them, we rented them out, we held them for so long that we get away from it. So when I say if you don't pay taxes when you're in real estate, it's because you're thinking really long term and you've got a very good tax strategy. But if you're just doing the flipping side and you're turning your inventory too fast, that's why you're paying taxes. If you turn your inventory very slowly like we do, you don't have to pay taxes. You can 1031 exchange, you can roll it into different asset classes, you can play the game in the tax advantage manner. So if you're
By the way, it wasn't you that I heard it from. I'm not saying
No,
it
no.
was you. It's like any other one. By the way, I heard
we
a
all say
comment.
it. We all say it.
Yeah, it's and by the way, I do tax planning and I do tax prep, or I used to, because now I'm doing more on the CFO
Mortgage
type of thing.
side.
But
Yep.
but the thing is that every time I'm involved in that, people turn around and ask me, "Hey, how come?" Because they kind of like, when they say real estate, people that don't know the difference, they automatically assume. So it got me curious. Maybe there's a magic pill out there that I don't know about. And by the way, I saw a comment and it says 1 year or more is capital gain. Just be careful, talk to your tax prep, because it's not so much the time, it's the intention you bought it.
It's the intention, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just because you have it for more than a year doesn't necessarily make it. You can change your. I mean, let's leave it at that.
Hey, I know I'm sketchy, but I just want everybody to know this was not legal advice. This was just Walter's opinion. Check with your attorney. I'm surprised that Mike Shine hasn't spoken up already.
And not legal advice, and also not tax advice, not financial.
Yeah, by the way,
advice.
not tax advice from me either or anything. It's just that I was truly curious, and I'm asking that question lately a lot because there's a lot of TikTok, a lot of Instagram, a lot of things, and I'm getting the calls because I do accounting for real estate investors, and I'm like, I mean, flips is like any other business. I don't know if there's anything else different. So if you guys ever know something different, just share with me, please. Thanks,
I like
Walter.
it. And Juan, if you want, go into alchemistnation.com and create an article around this. Just create a quick post and ask for the community, because this is definitely an engaging topic that I know Larry's going to weigh in on. Michael want to weigh in on this. Mitch will probably want to weigh in. So this is actually a really good topic. Let's give Juan a round of applause. Go ahead, Larry.
Hey, real quick, I just like to tell everybody that my goal is to pay $500,000 in taxes per year. So the people who understand that are multimillionaires, and the people who are like, you should pay zero taxes, don't quite get it. So Juan, as you started to talk, I realized you're probably one of those people who is thinking like me. At first, I jumped on you because I thought, you were listening to broke people, which, by the way, if you're watching TikTok and YouTube, you are listening to broke people. But the reality is, my goal is to pay $500,000 in taxes a year. That's with every single deduction I could possibly take, legal or illegal. Oh, did I say that last word? Bye.
I like that. So it's there are super leveraged strategies, and I think this is a really personal thing here. Like, anybody can do whatever they want. For me, I just roll everything back into growing the business. My goal is to never pay taxes because I want my business to be a $5 billion business. And in order to get there, you just got to keep investing. And that's how Elon got to what he did. Basically built $1 trillion business because every single dollar he ever made got rolled back into the business. He never took a paycheck. I mean, he took $100,000 a year paycheck. Show of hands if you know that's small in terms of Tesla. So everybody's tax strategy is different. If they're telling you they don't want to pay taxes because they're growing their company, But if when you get to the point like Larry is still growing his company, but also sees that there's a point where your company's so big, you have to take gains. You just have to take gains. You're forced upon them. They're forced upon you. And that is a powerful goal. Show fans if you'd like to get to that point in your business as well. You got to hang in the right environments. You got to take the right actions. Go ahead, Christina. And if you got to jump, you got business to do, go ahead. This is your day. This is Saturday. Go and spend some time with the family. Spend some time building your business. If you haven't taken the time to write your plan for this week, attack the week. Write your plan. Get clear about what's going to be your most efficient activities and post something on a platform that everybody else is on. I choose Facebook because most people are there. Don't post garbage. Post something valuable, interesting, and unique to the people who are most interested in you. Show fans if you understand how that works. Enjoy your weekend. And Christina, go ahead.
Okay. I was just want to say that everybody was saying that, don't try to be an expert on something that you are way ahead of your league. Get a good CPA, get a good bookkeeper, get a good lawyer. Let them do their job. That's why that's why they're experts. And just stick to what you're doing, whatever it is. And there are ways to avoid taxes. People that are millionaires do it. They buy planes. I have a friend that bought a plane just to not pay, I don't know, $2 million.
He bought a plane because he wanted a plane and had a gain.
Exactly.
I know people who also donate $2 million to a charity, right? It's
exactly.
the same thing.
So, just speak with your tax people and make a plan. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them what you plan on doing, and they will tell you how to work. That's it.
100%. Let's give Christina Cole a round of applause. I love the tips. Go ahead, Richard.
Come to the meetup events on the map, and that's where we have the teams going with the CPA, this real estate attorney, etc.
That is a very good point. So if you haven't been to a live Alchemist Nation event, especially our business or real estate professionals networks, you're going to meet all the players. You're going to meet your trusted team members, the people you need to get to that next level. Interview them, talk to them, have conversations. But if you don't show up, it's not my fault you're broke. So share with your friends, bring them along with you. Otherwise, you'll be rich and they won't. And that's not cool either. Show of fans if you want to go with your family, your friends. You're not going alone. Some of you don't like your family and friends. I totally get that. Get new friends. You can also meet them at the Business Real Estate Professionals Networks. Great point, Richard. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm looking for a couple lines of questions to weed out the property managers that are only property managers in name, but not in action. When you're looking at, I'm looking into different cities that I don't live in, and I'm interviewing property managers, and they all sound exactly the same. So I don't have that right question yet to weed out the losers.
Man, that is good. If there was one, I would say you want to know how many units they're managing. If there was a question to ask, I would ask how many units they're managing. If they're managing under 100, I would be cautious. But at the same time, you may get somebody who's just small-minded and they're going to be good for a little while. I like 300 units, somewhere in that space. If they can get past 300, they're probably pretty professional. They've had to put some systems in place. They will be more expensive. The cheaper ones below 300 haven't started charging for everything because they haven't scaled up. So you will find they're a little more expensive, but they're also more structured. And I prefer the structure over the savings, the little bit of savings I'll get. The other question I would ask is, do you own real estate yourself? Do you own some? And Gary's got a few questions he's going to give you as well, some suggestions. But do you own real estate yourself? How many units? Go ahead, Gary.
No, I just wanted to let you know I have a sponsor in my multifamily investors network, and she's got over 15,000 units under management, and she teaches property managers and she teaches investors how to evaluate their property managers. So I can put her in touch with you if you like, and she would be an excellent expert to help you with that.
That'd be fantastic.
Give Patrick a round of applause. Give Gary Aker a round of applause. He runs the Tampa Multifamily Investors of Tampa network. So if you're a multifamily investor in the Tampa area, Gary's got the group for you. Go ahead, Mike.
My question would be, do they have references of other properties that they already manage, and can I go see those properties? Because one walk around a property and you can see what Even if the people are their buddies and may not tell you, the truth, if you go walk a property, you'll be able to see it. So, and if they say, no, we can't do that, that's a red flag right there. So, yeah.
100%. Get references. Find out from their other property, from their clients, if they're good enough. Every property manager I've ever worked with, I definitely sent referrals and then would not send referrals if I no longer like them. Darina, you're texting me. Is there a reason you're texting me? It says, hey, baby, in my chat over here.
I sent you some other questions, but that's okay.
That was me, Walter. Sorry.
Thanks, Mike. Are they relevant to this call? Is there anything I'm forgetting?
It's all good. It's all good.
Excellent. Questions, other questions before we jump off. For the mastermind, we're meeting at 12 o'clock. Show of hands if you got some value out of today's wealth principles. Show of hands if you will absolutely apply this to your business and your life today. Awesome. Excellent. Change your environment, change your life, change what happens in your space, become the advancing person in every conversation that you have. Incorporate the lesson that you are an advancing person, that the person who connects with you is in the way of advancement, and that you're moving forward and moving others with you. The money will follow, the investment deals will follow, the opportunities are coming. We put in an offer on 39 units last night in Minnesota, and we put another offer on a residential assisted living in Tallahassee this week, and we put another offer in Illinois on 35 units this week. So be very clear, even though the market is annoying, we're finding opportunities in places I wouldn't normally have checked. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, before you cut off, Walter, man, first of all, yeah, I appreciate everybody for being a part of the community. Quick question. I just want to ask, I'm trying to get some details on the map of how looking in terms of what's happening in our areas. How do we get access to it? Because I mean, of course, I've seen the map on the page, on the Alchemist Nation page, but we don't see how many are in what city and who's the host of them and things of that nature. I'm trying to find that.
You got it, my man. So if you go in, what city are you looking for? You're in Texas, right?
Houston, yeah, yeah.
So Houston is over here. You got a few in your area. You've got this one, which is Pearland, and you've got this one, which is League City, which might be closer to you. So once you hit it, if you don't see a person in there, claim it.
Yeah, gotcha. That's really where I'm going with. So, all right.
Absolutely. Send a message to events@alchemistnation.com and let them know that you'd like to run this event, that you'd like to host this event for us.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Let's give Eric a big round of applause. Appreciate you, brother. Absolutely. And Darina reminded me, go ahead.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah. So since we're talking
actually,
about
Andy, before we go, I noticed that Brian Huffman's wearing the 100 Millionaire shirt. Let's give him a big round of applause. Looking sharp, brother.
Awesome.
Can't wait to see you again, my man. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, since we're talking about property managers, I was wondering, do you know any good property managers in Worcester?
I do. In fact, I do know a very good property manager in Worcester who managed Darina's properties until she sold them recently.
Okay.
So, Andy, send Darina a message and she'll hook you up with her property manager, McKay. I think sponsors one of our events up in Fitchburg or Worcester. Well, we'll work on that. Awesome. Let's give Andy a round of applause. Great question. Property managers. So Darina asked me to remind everybody about the 100 Millionaire Summit. If you have not booked your hotel, this morning at the gym, I was talking to a friend of mine, and they mentioned that they spent some time in LA and their hotel cost was $350. Right now, if you buy your tickets, if you get your hotel booked now using the link on the website, then I think the tickets are only 100. The hotel nights are 155. That is a locked-in price for Alchemist Nation only. Darina, am I wrong? Is that not the price? So your eyes going all over the place.
Well, so the link to the hotel is not on the website because only if you have a ticket. And we're sending out emails with the link, but I'm going to share it here in the chat. And it's only $120. And you should be, if you're coming single, just, you can share a room with someone.
Excellent. So give Darina a round of applause. The link is in the chat. If you don't have access to the link, you can go to events@alchemistnation.com, send an email to Andrew, and he'll make sure that you get access to the hotel link. That is more affordable than I thought it was. So it's less than $150 a night. If you lock in using the room rate that we have, the rate lock, I think that only goes for, 300 rooms. So it's not a lot. So that will go very quickly. So the people who get in now are the ones who get to save that. For everybody else, I apologize. I do save a little bit of money by booking rooms and locking them for you. But if I lock too many, then the event costs me quite a bit of money. Show of hands if you understand. It's I can do a favor for the people who book early, but I can't really help out the people who book late. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help the hotel. So they charge more for those people. That is it. The summit is lining up really nicely. The podcast is active. Mitch Jorsky and Andrew McMurray have been running the podcast now. 2 episodes are already out. My episode, I believe, is the best. So go and check out Alchemist Nation's episode 2 podcast, even though technically I think this is episode 160 something. So Mitch, we're gonna have to figure out how we get a little more pump from the fact that I ran the podcast for 3 years. I think we can somehow leverage that. No, not feeling it. It's fine. It's a new podcast. It's fresh. So go listen to episode 2 and completely ignore episode 1 where Mitch Jorsky gets interviewed. And kidding. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, did we miss the hip portable, Mitch? Did we get that yet?
It's coming right now.
The hip hop portable.
Oh boy.
Go ahead, Mitch. What is your rap quote of the week?
Man, if I was really good, I'd tie this into the Alchemist Nation podcast somehow, but I think that's going too far. Yeah, I mean, the principles today, both of them, kind of stuck with a theme, and the theme that you were pushing. I don't know if people realized it was basically, tell the story as if it's already true, right? Act as if. So there's a quote in a Drake song that I don't think people realize what he's saying. But once you made it, people always asking you, oh, how'd you do it, or what's your story, or whatever. And he basically says, in the song Started from the Bottom, he says, we don't like to do too much explaining. Stories say the same through the money and the fame, because we started from the bottom, now we're here. And basically what he's saying is like, my story hasn't changed. He was like, I was living this before it happened, and my story stays the same through the money and the fame. So, I mean, that's what essentially was getting pushed in the wealth principles today. So you got to create that story, you got to create that framework, and you got to act as if. And it's not a matter of, am I that person? It's a matter of, I am that person. And then you basically, your environment, your life essentially falls into it.
Give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. We're building millionaires, inspired to build 100 millionaires. Let's give each one of you a round of applause. If you haven't already checked out the episode 2, again, is the one that I'm in that interviewed me on episode 2. Mitch Jorsky and Andrew asked me, how did Alchemist Nation start? How did I get into real estate investing? What was my first deal? What did that look like? How did I find the capital? So it was really, really interesting. And if you really want to know the guy who's running this podcast to really figure out where does this come from, you can actually go down to episode 1 and you can watch Andrew interview Mitch Jorsky, the Scaredy Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing. Let's give Mitch one more big round of applause. He will be speaking at the summit. I've asked him to update his talk, so he's really going down to what's happening in real estate now, how you can evaluate deals, and he's going to talk about his portfolio, how he built from no real estate to having a really solid portfolio of real estate and being able to retire his business partner. Show of hands if you'd like to retire your business partners. Awesome. Excellent. And Gary Aker says there's a question that I'm missing. So Gary, do you mind just shouting that one out? And then this will be the last question and we'll jump off.
Yeah, I just noticed in the Q&A, someone is asking, is there one in Nassau County, New York? I think they're asking about a property manager, if anyone knows someone there.
Let's see. Nassau, we've got Richard Ellison is close. Actually, I have no idea. That would be a
I
good
thought they were
question.
asking if there was a meetup in Nassau County.
Maybe they're asking about a meetup. It's not specific.
Which, I mean, if there isn't one already and said person wants to become the host, you now have a meetup. And when I'm visiting my family on Long Island, I will come to said meetup.
That's it. So there's opportunities. I don't know where Nassau is.
Dude, Long
Long
Island,
Island.
bro.
Is that over here?
Where I'm from. Yeah,
All
there
right,
you go.
So the closest you got is either this one here in Yonkers or this one in Newark.
Hashtag we need a Long Island meetup. So
Looking
whoever
forward
asked
to
that question.
volunteer.
Ideas, go to Strong Island, baby.
That's it, Kieran. Ladies and gentlemen, go and make a post about what you're doing. Let people know that you are advancing and you're looking to advance others and take them with you. Get clear about where you're going and make sure that others are clear about where you're going. Share it on every platform. Make it interesting. If people don't like it, update it, make it better. But the idea is to say it, state it, put it where people can see it. Who cares what others think? But if you can get them on board, you'll be able to get more help a little bit faster. Show of hands, if you understand, you do kind of have to care about what others think, just not emotionally. Logically, get their attention. Logically, inspire them with your vision, with your mission. If your mission is all about you, it will not interest them. They must see a path for their advancement, for their increase. Show of hands, if you understand, the world's a little selfish, and that's okay. Because somebody who's hungry, somebody who wants something is somebody you can work with. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best.